Stephanie Schaefer. Stephanie was born with a rare vascular disorder that led to complications after childbirth. She was a patient for 6 weeks at UC Irvine from April to June 2007. And she says in her notes that she is very confident that if she was not at UCI Irvine on April 29, 2007, she would not be alive today. So it is with great pleasure that I introduce Stephanie Schaefer, one of our patients, who is going to share her amazing story with us today.
Thank you, Madeline. I appreciate that. Well, it is an absolute pleasure to be here sharing my story with each of you, and I thank you for the invitation. My story begins back when I was born, 33 years ago. I was born with a rare vascular disorder called Klippel-Trenaunay syndrome. By a show of hands, how many people heard of Casey Martin? Remember the golfer who wanted to sue the PGA tournament because he wanted a golf cart on the course in 1998? That's the same syndrome that I have, to put a face to it. So I knew pregnancy was going to be something that was quite risky for me. And when I met my husband and my fiance, we went to the Mayo Clinic to seek counsel and advice. And the Mayo Clinic referred us to a specialist in New York. So we flew out to New York to meet with a specialist, and he only counseled 8 women with Klippel-Trenaunay syndrome and pregnancy. He gave us the green light. So about 2 years later, I got pregnant, and the pregnancy went fine. No complications, went beautifully. The doctors even kind of joked, wow, you know, we knew you weren't abnormal on paper, we would never know because everything was status quo here. I had Brian at a community hospital in Orange County, our son Brian. He was born on April 17, 2007, and the cesarean went fine for me. Unfortunately for Brian, he inhaled the amniotic fluid, which is a complete fluke, and he ended up in the NICU and on a respirator for 10 days. Day 3 after my cesarean, I started bleeding from my cesarean site. And at that time, the doctors weren't too alarmed. They said, you know, this can happen in normal pregnancies, normal cesareans, and we're just going to take you into surgery and remove some trapped blood there, and you should be fine. So they took me into surgery, and I continued to bleed. And they transferred me to the intensive care unit. And after 50 blood transfusions, my blood counts were not changing. They knew I was in serious trouble. At that time, they wanted to transfer me to a hospital that saw very rare situations, and they looked at all hospitals in the area. And UC Irvine was chosen because of its impeccable reputation and specifically its traumas team skill and reputation. So on April 27th, I transferred there, and on the morning of April 29th, I went into cardiac arrest. My spleen ruptured, and Dr. Matthew Dolich and the resident, who's now a physician now, Dr. Paul Suding, they oversaw my resuscitation efforts, and they continued to resuscitate me for 45 minutes. And at that time, I miraculously regained a heartbeat. They took me into emergency surgery, and they took out my spleen and removed my uterus at that time. As you can imagine, it was touch and go. They were not sure of my cognitive status, what my outcome would be. And I continued to be at UC Irvine Hospital for quite some time. Because of the cardiac arrest, because of the lack of circulation, I went into kidney failure, liver failure, pancreas failed. I had 2 blood clots. My body turned septic on me. So it's no wonder I was at UC Irvine for 6 weeks. And as you could imagine, I saw physicians from every single team imaginable. You name the team, and they were coming to see me. And I just have to say my experience at UC Irvine was one that I will never forget for many reasons. And I just was so appreciative of the way I was treated and my family was treated. We were all treated with such respect, and everybody from the physicians, to the residents, to the nurses, to the CNAs, to the physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, everybody, even to the environmental services people. We're so in tune with the fact, we're very sensitive to the fact that I was separated from my baby for that whole period of time. And I did recover, and I was able to go home June 6, 2007. So at this time, 2 years ago, I was still in the hospital, and I wasn't able to be at this beautiful new facility that was built. And if you guys haven't seen it, it's just incredible. This new state-of-the-art building. So with that said, your efforts, the fact that research is such an integral part of UC Irvine, the fact that so much time and energy and money and donation goes into research, it truly makes a difference to make UC Irvine what it is. And the research efforts absolutely make a difference in the lives of thousands of people every single year. And I'm just one patient story. There are thousands, there are millions of patient stories. But I'm just the lucky one who gets to be able to come up and express my gratitude and share my experience. So I deeply want to thank everybody here, and just for all the physicians and the people who go into the research. Thank you so much.